Hey, so congratulations on the this lawn mowing, the great grass race here.
Thank you.
So just curious, is the production done on this show?
No, so our finale is tomorrow. Tomorrow we have kind of a ceremonial finish, and then a little bit of like some people may come out and greet their greet the racers because we have a lot of fans, and that'll be the last of the official shooting, and then we have about another month of episodes to put out.
Wow, that's amazing. So are you in Tampa right now yourself?
Yep, yep. Currently in Tampa.
So tell me how you boarded this project because the concept of the idea is just way out there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the thing is, Dennis Oliver, the creator of Menace Vision and really the mastermind of all the shows that we do, that's what he likes to do. He likes to think of things and then just take them way out there to really elevate, what something is. The mantra of Menace Vision is you haven't seen it all. And so I got a call from someone that said, "Hey, how would you like to follow lawnmowers across the country for 90 days in an RV?" And I was like, yeah, that sounds like an adventure. Let's go.
So how does this production logistics actually work? I mean, how many camera people did you actually have to go along with this journey? Because you're talking about 5, 6 teams,
Mhm.
from West Coast to East Coast, and I mean, how many cars? I mean, this is just bonkers to think about it.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a logistical nightmare, but I'm happy with how we did it. And for the second season, we'll do it very similarly. There are some small changes we'll make, but for the most part, what we did this season will be continued. So we have one camera person per team, and each camera person drives in an RV, which is basically their vehicle and their place to sleep. So that because the teams, sometimes they can't get anywhere, they end up just sleeping on the side of the road at the end of the night. And to have a camera person drive all the way back to some hotel somewhere and then drive all the way back to the team at some point, it caused a couple of issues. One, the camera person's gone for a time, and so if something happens in the middle of the night, we're not there to potentially capture it. And then the second thing is it kind of leaves the racers a little exposed where, again, if something happens in the middle of the night and they need us, they need our support, like we're kind of far away from them. And so by having them, all the camera people in RVs, they can stick with them the whole time. And so each camera person had a drone and then had their camera. And so all the drone footage is shot by us, and everything's done, kind of real time in the moment. The reality of shooting a show like this is, we're doing half-hour episodes. And so, given that there's so much footage in a day, we don't necessarily have to capture every single moment. We if there's something interesting that happens and we miss it, we can do an interview about it later. So that was kind of how we decided to pick and choose our spots, and how we made it across the country.
How do you guys handle like emergency situations or when police officers actually like stop you guys? I mean, obviously, I've seen some of the episodes, and I'm actually amazed how you guys conducted that.
Yeah, it's been a fascinating journey, especially you mentioned kind of the law authorities in the different areas, because sometimes it's state patrol, sometimes it's sheriff, sometimes it's police. Um, we really let the teams and the cameramen, interact and really handle that. We did a lot of talking about it before, and it's about energy and how we handle ourselves. And, we know that we're not doing anything dangerous, and we know that we don't pose a threat to anyone. And so carrying that energy and holding that space as we talk to other people has always helped other people feel comfortable with us. We've had two we've had two emergencies basically the entire show, and both of them were kind of injury related. We haven't had any, emergencies related to something violent happen or something scary happen or someone coming after us, or that's been one of the beautiful things about the show. And with the two accidents, one, fortunately, we were all kind of there. We were pretty close when it happened. The other one actually was a little scarier. It was an accident that we had early on in Santa Fe, rather between Albuquerque and Santa Fe on the Turquoise Trail. And the producer Denny and I and his wife, just we hopped into the car and we drove them as fast as we could. And when we got there, obviously the cameraman was helping them, and there was another team close that was helping them, and then we just kind of came in at the last minute and made sure everyone was okay.
How do you stay sane? Because I know one thing is that they're traveling at 5 miles per hour, but you're in an RV or a car following them at 5 miles per hour. You know what? That would drive me nuts, and that would be a reality TV show by itself.
Um, yeah, we definitely had issues with cameramen just being like, "Oh man, I'm going crazy out there." If things were going smoothly, you could listen to podcasts. You could listen to a lot of great things, and I think that I think that's what a lot of the guys did, was they were listening to the radio and just listening to music and kind of just zoning out. And what I've told people actually is that that's been our greatest strength, is that we're not in a rush. We were never in a hurry to get anywhere, which meant that we could take our time with things, and we didn't need to feel that pressure. Because I feel that pressure is where mistakes happens and accidents happen and people get hurt. And so that benefited us overall. Just having a young crew working really hard, working long hours, it benefited us to have those moments of pause and serenity. Me personally, I never had a free moment because we were shooting during the day and I'm editing at night. When we first started the show, we were putting out an episode a day, like literally shooting and putting an episode out every single day. And it was a lot. So for me, I didn't have that 5 mile an hour, dullery. I was pretty busy.
Yeah, I'm actually impressed that you were coming out with episode a day. It almost seems like it was like a video journal of their
Mhm.
entire trip, and that was impressive for any type of a reality competition series in its own way.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, one of the things that a lot of people are going to talk about is the fact that you've been filming during a pandemic.
Of course.
And not a lot of productions, when the pandemic first started, a lot of productions said, you know what, we got to stop this. We can't proceed. Why did you guys actually proceeded? And did that become a nightmare during the journey?
It's having a moment now to look back and reflect on it. I can honestly say that the COVID situation, the pandemic, really didn't affect us. There were two major logistical shifts that I noticed. One was when the show was first conceived, there was this idea that people would potentially open their homes to the racers and have people sleeping in their homes. And obviously with, social distancing, that didn't happen. But what did happen is so many of the hotels that we went by and that we passed by were, at less than half capacity. So when the racers were like, "Hey, would you mind donating a room?" Hotels were like, "Sure, there's no one else here. Why not?" You know what I mean? And so there was a generosity that was available to people that I think wouldn't have been available to people normally during the summer, during a time when people are on vacation and on break and whatnot. So that was a way that it benefited us. We were traveling together. I've called it quarantines together because we've been a very tight knit unit. Yes, we interact with some of the public, but in all the different places that we go, we kind of follow the protocols for PPE and COVID that they have. So there were some places that, Colorado, they don't expect you to wear masks for outside gatherings, but it's very important inside gatherings. Whereas in New Mexico, they want a mask everywhere. And there were some towns where I think I didn't see a single mask in the town other than people driving through it. And so in those places, we wore our masks, and then when interacting with people, we really just tried to match the energy of the people we were around. And it never once came up. We did periodic testing throughout the shoot. We didn't follow, any of the guidelines that came up because those were being negotiated while we started production. So they weren't even really done yet. But we're all symptom free and we've all been healthy and we're happy for that. We feel blessed about that. And I think that the other thing is that doing something like this during this time, it's not that we wanted to expose anything, but it does help us say, yes, we need to be careful. Yes, we need to do social distancing. Yes, we need to wash our hands and sanitize and all of those things. but it doesn't mean we can't still connect with people. And it doesn't mean we can't still interact with people. And that was really the core of this show, was about community interaction and connecting with people and showing that, you know, the world still does care about itself, that people still do care about each other and will take care of each other, you know, when they see people in need.
I'm amazed because you're incredibly lucky on this production, and surprisingly, everyone across America is incredibly generous. I didn't expect those type of results.
Yeah, we were happy to show that. You know, I've always told people that this is so much more of a docu-series than a reality show, because we didn't go back and stage moments. We didn't say, oh, we didn't get the best angle, let's reshoot that. We really just wanted to capture what happened. And you can see that day after day, I mean, literally every single day on this journey, the racers were fed and housed and, you know, given petrol, given gas, you know, to run the mowers. It's been beautiful to see.
So the production crew absolutely did not really help them out with food and gas whatsoever, even.
Food and gas, not at all. I did authorize people to give out water if we knew that someone hadn't had any water for a while, because especially in the beginning, you know, we're going through the Mojave Desert, 120 degrees. Like, we didn't need people passing out from heat stroke while driving. But no, the only help that production offered was there were occasionally times when it wasn't safe on the road anymore, and we needed to tow them to a safer area, or there were certain places where law enforcement wouldn't let us drive anymore, and so we needed to tow them out of that area. But other than that, production, we really remained documentarians. We really just kind of watched them struggle with the things that they had going, as hard as it was. And it was hard because, you know, we're like a family. We're so small. You know, there's 20 of us kind of all told, with all of the cast and all of the crew, that it's a family. And I had to kind of pull the guys aside, the camera crew aside every once in a while, and just say, hey guys, I know you really care. I know they're your friends, but like, you've got to let them figure it out for themselves. You've got to let them struggle on their own. I know that it's hard, but it's really important that all we do is capture, you know, and that's what we did. We just kind of captured their moment. And they, the contestants, they grew so much from this. You know, I think of, for instance, Wealthy on the blue team was so quiet and so reserved. And towards the end of the show, while he still has that same presence, that same gravitas, he's now so willing to talk to people, to talk to strangers, to ask for help. You know, the same with Clinton on the green team. It really brought him out of his shell, and you know, I hope it supports him on his journey going forward.
Excellent. Now, talk about the so-called plot twist of changing the finish line from New York to Tampa. I haven't seen a plot twist like that in reality competition since The Bachelor, which they do every season. But you guys threw it in there and totally surprised everybody.
Well, you know, it came for two reasons. So when we were back in New Mexico, I actually overheard one of the teams talking about all the support that they had lined up for them in Colorado. And I was like, it wasn't cheating, you know, it wasn't cheating, because good for them for using their social network and getting that support along the way. But I wanted more out of them. You know, I knew that they were capable of improvising. I knew that they were capable of digging deep and finding something. And so I kind of came up with switching, you know, the final destination, I want to say about a month ago. And I've sort of been working on what would be best and where would be best and what would that look like. And so we played with, you know, New Jersey instead of New York, but those were so close. It was kind of like, yeah, it's kind of the same. And then I said, you know, well, what about going south? Like, what about, you know, we'll still go to St. Louis. It's kind of dead center, you know, and then all of a sudden we'll just make this hard right turn. I think that would be really shocking. I don't think anybody will see it coming. And I think it would be a lot of fun. And so that was the creative impetus for changing it. The logistical impetus was, you know, we didn't know where we would be at as far as COVID. You know, when we started in July, you know, and we expected to finish in October, the question was, you know, well, maybe this will be done by then. Maybe everything will be cleaned up. Maybe things will be back to quote unquote normal. Who knew? And just kind of gauging the temperature of New York and where the city is at and where the state is at and how they're healing and how they're feeling. We just felt like moving this traveling circus into their city, and it just seemed like it would be more disruptive than helpful. And we didn't want to be that. We always want to be welcomed to where we're going. You know, we don't want to force ourselves on anyone, and just kind of, you know, it's that uninvited dinner guest, you know, just kind of showing up and say, surprise, we're here, and to have everyone say, great, now get out, versus, you know, other states or other cities that might be a little bit more relaxed or a little more ready to receive a small show like us. And Tampa really opened their arms for us. And so that was kind of what sealed the deal was, you know, Tampa had the space available, they were interested, and we knew that there would be a warm welcome for us. And so we decided to come here logistically as well.
Were you surprised of the basically the fan support and social media that went along with the show? Because you know the show came out of nowhere, but it steadily gained support as it goes along.
Not surprised. And the second part of it is we had to have it. I mean, these guys rely on fans to get anywhere. And so if we didn't have it, the show would have been a failure because there would have been less people kind of helping them find resources. And the other beautiful thing was that a lot of our fans, you can watch it. It was like a tidal wave where once we'd been somewhere and we'd left that place, and then we started to grow fans in that place because they had experienced us and our energy and how we were and who we were. And that really helped.
Wow. So going into second season, are you going to basically make adjustments to the rules? Because like for example, I actually met someone who was a book author, and for 3 months, he actually just used his fans and slept on people's couches for 90 days.
Mm.
Obviously, in the second season, new contestants are going to be better prepared, and they're probably going to, you know, utilize, you know, bend the rules even more, knowing how this actually works. Are you guys going to make some adjustments to that kind of stuff?
Without a doubt, you know, there's you have to evolve. You know what I mean? And that's what I think that's what Menace Vision is about. You know, Menace Vision is about challenging the norms in production and challenging the norms of networks and the programming that's put out. We know we have to evolve. And so otherwise we won't have this great twist in the middle of the season. You know what I mean? It's almost like you said, you know, The Bachelor has a huge twist, but they do it all the time. So it's no longer a twist. You're just sitting there waiting for the other shoe to drop. And I think that for us, we want to keep surprising people. We want people to keep watching because we want them to be afraid that if they miss an episode, they're going to miss what happened. And they're going to go, oh my gosh, what happened? What did I miss? And that's the energy and excitement that, you know, Dennis really wants to create with this network and that I'm happy to support him with.
So since tomorrow is basically the last day of production, not of editing, obviously, but what was the most important lesson that you learned as a director of this reality docuseries?
I think it's kind of what you last mentioned, you know, really getting clear on making it a docuseries and not a reality show. Early on, I want to say maybe my second day or my third day of kind of running the set, there was a moment when someone wanted something reshot, you know, and they were in charge. And so I said, okay, we'll reshoot it. And it was so bad. And it made everything else around it feel bad and dirty. And I just saw that if we stayed clear and genuine in everything we created and everything we did, it made everything else better. And so just sticking to the guns of, I don't care that we missed it, we're not going to reshoot it. I don't care that, you know, we didn't hear her say that, don't have her repeat herself. You know, and finding other ways to get the information out, because I think that audiences really appreciate the honesty. You know, I think that it creates a vulnerability that allows them to feel like they can connect with the contestants more. And that's what we want. We want people to connect.
Excellent. Well, hey, you know what? You guys done a terrific job. I do have to admit this was sort of like a Big Brother, Amazing Race type of feel, but it's on lawnmowers. I can't imagine what you guys are going to come up next. Maybe like rowing from the West Coast to the East Coast somehow on a rowboat or something.
Something like that. We're developing a show called The Spice Wars, and we're going to take 12 people who've never sailed before, and they're going to have to sail from the UK to the Caribbean and recreate the spice route. So down the west coast of Africa and then up the east coast of South America.
Oh, wow. You guys could come up with anything. You know what? There's an audience that watches everything. So that's terrific. Congratulations, Cosmos.
Thank you so much.
I can't wait to see who the winner is, but I guess I'm going to have to wait another month because
No, not at all. We're going to announce the winner on Friday. So we Yeah, we know better than to make people wait for certain things. And so that's why like the mid-season twist, like we let people know right away, you know, and then we cut back to the older episodes. So we're going to continue to release episodes in order. And then on Friday, we'll interrupt our normal scheduled, you know, release of updates to have the finale episode released, announce the winner, show some highlights of the race itself, and then we'll go back to finishing the rest of the journey of how they got to Tampa and how the winners made it here.
Because I think I saw when you did the mid-season twist, one of the contestants was in the arm cast, and I was like, did I miss that episode?
Exactly. I have a friend who teases me that says, there was a beard on your face, and now the beard is gone, and now the beard is back.
Excellent. And Cosmos, before I let you go, because I did actually went on Menace Vision and was trying to watch everything in order. Episodes 3 to 6 was actually missing, and I called it the lost episodes. Was there a reason for that?
There is. So, you know, when the show first started, we struggled a bit. I mean, we're a new show. We were trying to figure out kind of how to run and what to do. And in all honesty, the first 6 episodes weren't that great, you know. And so what I did was I sat down and I re-edited episodes 1 through 6 and combined them and turned them into new episodes 1 and 2. So all of the footage that was in, because the first 3 episodes were 9 minutes, 12 minutes, and 8 minutes respectively. They weren't even full, you know, half-hour episodes, just because, again, the style of the show was different at the time. We had a different director at the time. And so when I took over as director, I said, one of the things we need to do is we need to make the show fit. And so we went back and we re-edited, you know, those first 6 episodes into those first 2. So when you watch episode 1 and episode 2, you'll find that at the end of episode 2, the story flows right into episode 7 and doesn't miss a break.
Well, that's actually terrific to know, because otherwise I'm going to keep calling it the lost episodes.
It gets confusing for sure.
Excellent. Hey, congratulations, Cosmos.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure speaking with you, and I can't wait to check out this Friday on who the winner is.
It'll be great. Thank you so much. Take care.
Hey, thank you. Bye now.
Bye.